Hello everyone, this is Vijayta, Associate Professor from the Department of ECE, MLR Institute of Technology. In this video, I would like to talk on behavioral modeling from linear and digital integrated circuits. So in this, what are the operators and assignments, and how to use the initial construct, and how to use the always construct, and how to write a Verilog code for a counter in a behavioral level modeling. So, design description at data flow and gate level are close to the circuit. See, if for an example, if you have taken an AND gate, in gate level, you will be calling it as a primitive like AND, will be presenting outputs followed with the inputs. Whereas in a data flow, you can just use a keyword called assign. O is equals to I1 ampersand with I2, where I1 and I2 are the inputs and O is the output of this AND gate. So, this data flow and gate level are close to the circuit. But if the circuit complexity or the functional complexity increases, the approach is intractable for many design. That is, the approach of using a data flow and gate level will be very difficult when your functional complexity have been increased. Behavioral level modeling constitutes design description at abstract level. It can be described at functional level itself instead of getting bogged down with the implementation details. The description is carried out essentially with the constructs similar to that of a C language, and the design itself is similar to the programming in C. So, the programming in behavioral level modeling will be similar to the C language programming, whereas in data flow and gate level, the programming will be similar to the circuit, whereas here we will be doing with the functional level itself, and which is similar to the programming in C. So, the design description at behavioral level is done through a sequence of assignments, and these are called as a procedural assignments. Though it appears similar to the assignments at data flow level, but the assignments which you are using here will be different. The procedural assignment is characterized by the following. The assignment is done with the equals to symbol or less than or equals to symbol, as was the case with the continuous assignment earlier. An operation is carried out was a case with the continuous assignment earlier. That is, in data flow, we used to use this kind of assignments. Here, an operation is carried out and the result assigned through equals to operator to an operand specified on the left hand side of equals to. For example, the NOT of A will be given to N when you are using this equals to operator. So, this value will be assigned to the complement of N will be assigned to this N only with the help of this assignment operator equals to operator. The operation on the right can involve operands and operators. Here, you can use both operators and operands. The operands can be different type, maybe logical variables, numbers with the integers or real numbers. The operations on the right hand side can involve both operands and operations. The operation on the right hand side can involve both operands and operators. The operands can be of different types, logical variables or maybe a numbers which are real numbers or integers. The format of using them and the rules of precedence remains the same. That is, the format of using the numbers or the format of using the number systems or the format of using a logical variables will remain same for this procedure. The operands on the right hand side can be either a net or variable type, and they may be of a scalar or maybe a vector type. It is necessary to maintain a consistency of the operands in the It is necessary to maintain the consistency of the operands in the operational expression. That is, example, n is equals to m divided by 1 or L. You can consider either L or 1. So, here you will be using a net data type or variable data type, and this function will be assigned to n by using a assignment vector, which is by using a assignment operator, which is equals to. The operand to the left of the equal to operator has to be a variable type. This should be a variable type. It has to be specified. It has to be specifically declared accordingly, and it can be a scalar or a vector, a part of vectors, or maybe a concatenated vector. See, n is equals to m by L is an example here. Here on the right hand side, you can use operands or maybe a operators. But here, whatever which is there on the left hand side will be of variable type, or we can say that register type. It can be a scalar or maybe a vector or maybe a part of vector or maybe concatenated vector. The procedural assignments are very much like sequential statements in C. Normally, they are carried out one at a time sequentially. So, they will be doing sequential execution. As soon as specific operation on the right hand side is carried out, the result is assigned to the left hand side. Here, for example, n is equals to m plus n, or n1 is equals to n into n. It performs an operation of n into n. After performing the specified operation, it will be assigned to the n1. So, all the statements here will be executing sequentially with time. The above form of set of two procedures placed within a always block. Generally, they are carried out sequentially in an order specified. So, if we have a, for example, here I have taken a single statement, that is n is equals to m divided by 1. So, no need to use a always statement. No need to place. Here I am using n is equals to m by L, where I am executing a single statement, and this statement is not necessary to place in a always block. But here we are executing a set of two procedural statements where these two has to be placed in a always block. So next one is initial construct. A set of procedural assignments within an initial construct are executed only once. The two at the time specified by the respective assignments. For example, I have taken as example program here. Initial, begin, A is equals to 1, B is equals to 1. So, I didn't mention a time over here. So, initially at time t is equals to 0, A value will be assigned to 1-bit binary value of 0, that is 0, and B value will be assigned with a 1-bit binary value of 0 as 0. So, this statement will be executed at only one time. Next, after two time intervals, I asked to change the A value to a 1-bit binary value of 1. So, after two time intervals at time t is equals to 2, A value will be changed to 1, B value will be kept same as 0, because at time t is equals to 2, I asked only to change the A value, not the B value. So, these statements are executing at a time, not for a multiple times. So, the set of procedural assignments within an initial construct are executed only once, and that too at a specified at a time specified by the respective assignments. So, for this assignment, the time mentioned is 2 time intervals of delay, and for this respective assignment, they have given a time delay of 3, and for this assignment, they have given a time delay of 1. So, with the specified time, these statements will be executed only once. In any assignment statement, the left side has to be a storage type. The left hand side should be a storage type. It can be a it can be a register, or it can be a integer, or it may be a real type of variables. So this should be either a register, or maybe a integer, or maybe a real type of variables. And right hand side can be a storage type of variables or a net. All the procedural statements should appear between the begin and end statements. That is, this is a block, and all the procedural statements should be placed in between a begin and block. So, this is an example to explain the initial constructs. All the procedural statements within the initial will be executed once, and if we want to execute a multiple values, if you want to assign a multiple values to a storage type A and B, this has to be placed in a begin and end blocks itself. And the LHS side may be either a register, or maybe an integer, or maybe a real type. Here in the example, we have taken a reg a comma b, that is A and B are represented as an integer. Sorry, A and B are represented with a register, and these registers are going to be assigning with a specific 1-bit binary values with respect to the time. Next one is always construct. The always process signifies activities to be carried out on an always basis. Its essential characteristics are: any behavioral level design description is done using a always block. The process has to be flagged off by an event or change in the net or a register. Otherwise, it ends in the statement. The process can have one assignment statement or multiple assignment statements. In the later cases, all the assignments are grouped together with the begin and end construct. So, always here you can use like always at the rate of clock. A can be given as B plus C. Here I have a single assignment statement, so I am not using a begin and end statement. If I have a multiple assignment statement, this has to be grouped together in a begin and end construct. Always at the rate of clock, A is equals to B plus C. The same thing I will write like always at the rate of clock, begin, A is equals to B plus C, and D is equals to some X plus Y N. So, the multiple assignments should be given in a begin and end block. Normally, the statements are executed sequentially in order they appear. So, all the statements will be executed sequentially, not concurrently. Next, implementation of counter. First, we will see with an example of up counter. So, module test underscore. So, this is a test bench program. Here I have written a module for the up counter. So, already this is a module, and this module is given with the name called counter up. This module is a keyword which signifies the starting of the program. So, module up counter is counter up, which is having a port list of A, N clock. But we need to specify what are the input ports and what are the output ports. So, the input port is clock, and also N is also an input port with a vector representation of 3 to 0. That is a 4-bit value we are considering. And output is stored with A, and it is also taken as an array as a 4-bit value. So, clock, CLK and N are the input ports, A is the output port. So, this represents a starting of the program, and this represents the declaration of inputs and outputs. Now, your statement starts from here. So, as I want to store the A value, that is output value, counter. For the counter, we need to be assured that a value, the output value should be 0, 0, 0 because we have taken a 4-bit value. So I'm considering it as a 4-bit binary value. And why we need to consider it as 0? Because the counter always starts with the 0. That is the reason why the output, I'm ensuring that your output A is given with the 4-bit binary value of 0, 0, 0. So in order to store A value as a 0, I need to declare this A as a register. That is why register. And this A is a 4-bit vector. Here I have represented A as a 4-bit vector. So register 3:0 A. Here also I am representing that register A is an output variable which has to be stored with the 4-bit value. That is the reason why I have taken here also as a vector representation. So register 3:0 A. Initial A is equals to 4-bit binary value of 0, 0, 0. Now I placed a 0 in A. Now the main statement, always at the rate of negative edge clock. Clock means you'll be having one negative pulse and one positive pulse, negative pulse and positive pulse. So, but when your clock is in negative clock, then only I'm asking to perform this operation and I'm using a single statement here. So, I'm not using a begin and blocks here. So, it always, whenever the clock goes with the negative cycle, your A value will be assigned based on the operation. A is equals to N. See, first it checks. This is a ternary operator. First it checks A is equals to N. A value is, what is A value? 4-bit binary value of 0, 0, 0. I didn't represent the N and I will represent the N value in the test bench code, not here. Here, for example, here if you can see the N value is 4-bit binary value of 1011. 1011 is the N value which I have taken in the test bench, not in the design description. So it checks whether A is equals to N value, that is A is equals to 1011. Yes, it is not true. That's why what happens, your A value will be incremented by 1. That is A 000 plus 1, which is 0001. So 0001 will be stored in A. Now your A value will be stored with, initially A value is 000, but now A value will be stored with 0001. Again it checks A is equals to N or not. 0001 is not equals to 1011. So this statement is false, so it goes with this statement and it is incremented by 1, so it gives 0010. Now your A value will be stored with 0010. Again, this is not equals to 1011, that is N value. So it will be incremented by 1. It moves to this statement and is incremented by 1 and gives us 0011. Now A value will be stored with 0011. It goes on incremented by 1 until A value reaches to N. When it reaches to N, your A value will be again started with the 0000. That is 4-bit binary value of 0. So when it reaches the N value, that is when A is equals to A value will be equals to N value, your A value will be stored with the 4-bit binary value of 0 in A. So this is how the counter is going to be working with a single ternary operator, and this statement will be executed only when the clock is a negative edge clock. And this end module specifies, it's a keyword which specifies the program has been ended with this statement. Now, the test bench for this code is given here. Module test underscore counter up register clock, because we need to give the clock pulse. So I'm assigning the clock as register, and N value input which is also assigned with the register, and output 3:0 is assigned with the wire because your output has to be driven to some other circuit, can be driven to some other circuit. Now I am writing a test bench code for this design description. So whatever the design name or whatever the module name given here, the same has to be called here. That is why counter up, and the counter name is C1, and ports have been given in the same sequence, A comma clock comma N. Now here initial statement, where all the statement between the initial under the initial will be executed only once. Initial, here begin, and I'm using two different statements, two procedural assignments. So these two statements has to be given within a begin block. So begin, clock is equals to 0. Initial, I'm assuming the clock with 0, and N value is also assigned with 4-bit binary value of 1011. So these two assignments have been given with a begin and end block. And here, if I have given clock is equals to 0, it goes on counting. It counts only for a single value. But this counter has to be count for multiple values. So I need to change the clock from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. That is the reason why again I have written always #2 clock is equals to complement of clock. Initially clock is 0 at time t is equals to 0, and it will be at 0 till 2 time intervals, but when it reaches the 2 time intervals, your clock will be changes to 1. Again it will be in 1, it will be at 1 till clock reaches to 4 time intervals, because after 2 time intervals again I ask the clock to change it to 0. So this statement helps to produce a clock function 0 to 1 and 1 to 0 goes on. An initial dollar monitor with respect to time, I want to check the A value, clock and N value in a binary form. That is why I have taken a %LB, and the whatever the sequence which I have written, that is A, clock, and the same sequence I have represented as A comma clock comma N. And this module represents the keyword for starting of the code, and the N module represents the ending of the module. So this, if you can see here, this is counting from 000 to 1011 by making it as adding 1 to the A value. So this is called as a up counter. It is incrementing with a 1 value. Now we will see the down counter. If you can see the program, module name, same A, clock, N, or the same ports which I have considered. So this is a module. This module consisting of an input clock and another input which is given with the name of N, and this is a 4-bit data, 4-bit N value, and output is given with a variable A, and it is also given with the 4-bit value, that is 0:1. And as I want to store the A value, because always either maybe a up counter or maybe a down counter, your counter always starts with a 0. And either it has to increment by 1 or it decremented by 1 as depending upon the up counter or down counter. So to ensure that your output value is 000, I am presenting A value with a 4-bit binary value of 000, and this has to be stored in A. So I am using a register to store a value. So before giving a 4-bit binary value of 0 to A, represent that A with a register, and register 3:0 Now you can store a value in a variable. Now always at the rate of negative edge clock, same, the clock will have a positive edge and also a negative edge. When the clock is having a negative edge, then only I am asking to perform this particular operation. So A value will be stored either with the N or maybe a decremented value of A. This is the condition. If this condition is true, then it executes with the N. If this condition is false, then it executes with the statement that is decremented by A. So here A is equals to 4-bit binary value of 000. That is, if A is equals to 4-bit binary value of 000. Yes, this is 000. So here I have taken A value as 4 zeros, and here which is equals to 4 zeros. Yes, this is true. So it represents the N value. So I didn't represent the N value, and the N value I have given in a test bench code. So the N value which I have given here is 1010. So as A value and this 4-bit binary value of zeros are equal, so as the statement is true, this condition is true, this statement jumps and it produces N value to A. It produces n value to A. So the n value has given a down counter as 1010. So now, as a statement is true, the A value will be given with 1010. Now your A value is changes to 1010, and which should be equals to the condition 000, and this condition is now false. This condition is false. So it goes to this statement and it decremented by 1. So that is 1010 minus 1 will be done here. So this goes on, decrements the value until it reaches to 000. So this is the function of the down counter. The same test bench have been used, but the test bench code which I am writing for the down counter, so I call the same module counter DN. The counter name is given with CC and the sequence of codes are given with A, clock and N, and initial in these statements will be executed at once. This statement will be executed at once. So initial, as I want to give the multiple procedural assignments, so initial begin. In that I am assuming that n value has some 4-bit binary value of 1010. This is not compulsory. Any value you can consider. And the clock initially starts with 0. I want to perform a clock, so this clock is given with the complement of clock for every 2 time intervals. So always #2 clock is equals to complement of clock. So starts with 0, time t is equals to 0. It stays in 0 till 2 time intervals. After 2 time intervals, the clock moves to a 1. This goes on happening till 55 time intervals. After it reaching the 55 time intervals, the producing of the clock will also stops at the 54th time intervals. And I want to observe the A clock and values in terms of binary. So I use the initial $monitor. With respect to time, I want to check how A, N and clock are going to be impacted, and the same sequence is given here as A, clock, N. So this is how a down counter program can be done by using a behavioral modeling. The next one is, instead of writing up counter and down counter separately, you can write a up down counter within a single program. As usual, just now we discussed that module, and this is given with the module name, and these are the ports, and for these ports they have been declared the inputs as clock and up counter and down counter values, as well as N is also in input, and output is given with A, where A is a 4-bit vector as well as this N is also a 4-bit vector. As I want to store A value with the 000, this A value is given with the keyword called register, and initially A value is stored with the 000. It specifies that it shows that we started counting with the zeros. Now always at the rate of negative edge clock, when clock is at a negative, when clock is 0, or we can say that when clock is in a negative value, then only this working conditions will be done. So it checks A is equals to the A value will be assigned based on the statement which we are executing here. So A is equals to, first what it checks, up down counter. It checks the U underscore up down counter value. The up down counter here I have taken it as a binary value of 1-bit binary value of 0. So it checks 0. If this is 0, that means it is false. As this is a false statement, it directly goes to this statement and it executes here. A is equals to 4-bit binary value of 000. Yes, A is 000, which we have mentioned here, which is equals to 4-bit binary value of 000. Yes, this is true. So it produces A value will be given with the N value. So now A will be stored with A 010111. Next. So similarly, if U underscore D is given with the value of 1, then this particular statement is going to be executing. So we can say, see here 2 ternary operators have been written here. This is a statement which, this is a condition here. First it checks this condition here. If this condition, if U underscore D is false, then it executes this statement. If u underscore d is true, then it executes this statements. So this performs a down counting. This statement performs the down counting, and this performs an up counting. The explanation, the procedure of using this is discussed in the previous slides. This statement used for up counting, and these statements are used to perform a down counting. But this down counting and up counting will be done by the condition, that is u underscore v. If u hyphen d is 0, it represents that false and it produces a down counting. And if u hyphen d is equals to 1, it says that it is a true, so it performs an up counting. So this is how you can write a Verilog code for both up counting and down counting using a ternary operator. And the same have been given here, the dispatch code has been given. So we have taken n value, see module test, and this is a test module name represented with the registers. All the inputs are represented with the registers, outputs are represented with the wire, and calling the up down counter. So UDP counter, and the counter name is given with C2, and the sequence of variables, sequence of ports are given with a comma, clock comma, n comma, u underscore v. Initially you need to declare, here we declare only a value that in the design description. So we need to declare both n value, u underscore d value, and as well as clock value. So n value have been declared, u underscore d value is declared, and clock value is declared. And the clock has to be trigger between 0 and 1. So always hash to clock underscore. So the clock is equals to complement of clock, and u underscore d is 0 initially, but this has to be triggered. This also has to be triggered between 0 to and 1. Then only it performs a down counting and as well as up counting. So this u underscore d value is also given with the complement of ud. Till 33 time intervals, till 33 time t is equals to 33, till t is equals to 33, it performs a down counting as the statement which I have used here. Always hash 34 u underscore d is equals to complement of u underscore d, which specifies that u underscore d value, sorry, u hyphen d value will be 0 till 33 time intervals. So till this 33 time intervals, it performs a down counting, and after the 34th time interval, it starts performing with the up counter, because at 34th time interval, I am asking to complement the u underscore d, u hyphen d value. So at 34th time interval, it starts with the up counting. Till 63 time intervals, it performs an up counting. So from this test bench, your clock is going to be triggering for every 2 time intervals, whereas up down counter will be triggers at 33 time interval. At time t is equals to 33, it goes to a up counting till the 33 time intervals, that is at time t is equals till t is equals to 33, it performs a down counting. So this is how you can write a Verilog code for both up counting and down counting. So coming to the summary, here today we discussed what is an initial statement and how to use an initial statement, and what is the always statement and how to implement the always statement in the behavioral model, and whatever the statements which are written in the initial statement will be executed only once, whereas the statements which you are executing in an always statement checks with the condition, that is always at the rate of clock. Means if the clock is equals to, the clock changes, when the clock changes from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, then only the values will be performing. The procedural assignments under this block will be executed, or else it won't be executed. When there is a change in the clock, then only the statements under the always will be executed, or else it won't be executed. And we also discussed about the procedural assignment statement, as well as we have done with the Verilog codes for up counter and down counter, and as well as up or down counters. That is, we have done with the 3 Verilog codes in this video. Thank you.